Hello and welcome back to the channel for another College TF review. Today we're taking a look at the Transformers Reactivate Optimus Prime and Soundwave set from Hasbro. This is a pretty interesting set that Hasbro has very recently announced at the timing of the Transformers Reactivate game, which is delayed in its release, but I thought these were cool figures. I'm not a video gamer myself, but I thought these looked really cool. Mainly just wanted to check out this Prime right here, as he looks pretty awesome. And so yeah, let's get into this review. I got this from Hasbro Pulse, as it is, I believe, an exclusive there, but you can find it over at some other shops online. So first, take a look at the packaging here. And you do just get pictures of figures on the side and then the CGI there. You can see another image of Optimus there. He does look really cool in that game. And there's some images of figures on the back. There's some screen captures from the game. Look pretty cool. Both their robot and alt modes, so very nice. That is it for the packaging. You do get instructions that are combined for both figures, so it's one booklet, and each essentially Optimus is on one side and Soundwave is on the other. Optimus is a more complicated transformation, as he is a Voyager, but still, I would say, very fun. So here are the two figures, and I think they actually look pretty good. I really didn't care about Soundwave getting this set. He's all right. I mean, he's fine. It's really Optimus that's the star here, and he's pretty fantastic. Paint apps, fantastic articulation, really great truck mode. So to begin with, I'll just show them side by side just so you get a sense. So Optimus is the Voyager in this set, whereas Soundwave is a deluxe class. And there is a noticeable size difference between the two, which makes sense. This is also a very big Prime. When I bring in some comparisons later, you'll see he's a beefy guy. So there's Prime. And get Soundwave standing up kind of straight here, just so you can see how they actually stack up next to each other. And so as you can see, Prime is a lot bigger than Soundwave. Just depending on your preference, you may or may not like that. Soundwave is kind of a smaller figure in this set, but there you go. There's just the side profile. What's kind of funny is even though Prime is a lot taller than Soundwave, he has much less of a backpack, so there is that as well. So to begin with, I'm going to take a look at Soundwave mainly. First, go through his transformation and all that, and then I'll come back to Prime. So here he is, see the details. Nice looking face sculpt. The silver and the red, looks good. You kind of have the tape deck there in the center, Decepticon logo. He doesn't come with any cassettes, which is too bad. And the legs, very lanky overall. Nice big truck backpack on the back there. Everything, I believe, is blast effect compatible, so you can stick your blast effects on there if you would like. And these are, of course, his accessories. This is a shoulder cannon, so there's just a plug there, but you could also have him wield it in his hand if you want to. You can have two blasters, and you could put this one on the shoulder if you want to, but this one doesn't have the articulation joint, but if you wanted to, you could put that up there too. Have that going on, whatever you want. Now, what is interesting is there is a hole in the back of this gun, and I thought maybe you could combine the two guns together, but they don't actually do that, so that's a bit of a missed opportunity, in my opinion, I think. I don't know why otherwise you have that hole back there, but it is there. In terms of articulation, it's not too bad. You can look up a little bit, you can look down a little bit, you can tilt side to side, very little bit, and you can rotate to about there. Then the shoulders are also in ball joints, so you get out to there, all the way around. You get a bisweep swivel that's very tight, but it is there. And you get a little past 90 out of the elbows there, and you do also get a wrist swivel. Very good. And then there's unhindered waist rotation. Legs can kick up very high. They can kick back to there. They just stop there. They go out to about here for the splits. You have a thigh rotation up there. You get way past 90 out of the knees, which is very nice. And you get about there out of the ankle tilt, and nothing forward and back. So certainly not bad at all for a deluxe class. Now in terms of like hollowness and plastic, it's actually not that bad. He's got some hollowness, which is kind of expected as being like the, I guess, extra figure in this set, but it's not too hollow. He's got a lot of paint apps too, so that's pretty good. Not too bad, not too bad. Certainly not my favorite Soundwave figure, but it looks cool. I'll probably use them kind of in like a live action setting. These guys could be either like your toon look or a live action look, so kind of a neat combination. Just as a quick comparison, here he is with Netflix Soundwave, who's a Voyager. So you get that difference in size. I personally prefer Soundwave to be a Voyager as compared to a Deluxe. I think Deluxe is too small for Soundwave. He's pretty large in the cartoons. So you can see he's kind of a tiny Soundwave. But still, neat figure. But I would definitely not, if you are looking for a really good Soundwave, this is not the set, in my opinion. I mean, he's not bad, but he's by no means that amazing. So transformation-wise, it's actually more complicated than it looks, but to begin with, just like to unfold that part, rotate the head inside, and just unfold all of this out. And there is like a double hinge joint in here that you just want to pull out, so pull the wheels down there, and then just use that double hinge joint to kind of form the whole top of the car. So all that is kind of shell forming-ish, but it's fine. And so then just straighten out the arms, and we rotate them inside. And there's a tab slot connection that happens in here. So there's a tab there, goes into a slot on the other side of the forearm. So line that all up. And same thing on the side. Just rotate that arm inwards from that shoulder section. And tab that in there. So there's the arms all done. Next we can come to the legs. So these pieces here, which form the front fenders, just go ahead and start spreading them out. They're on a double hinge joint there too. Just spread them out so they're about as wide as they can be. Then we want to rotate at the thighs and straighten out the feet. Then just open that hinge and pull the wheel out, which I thought that was kind of cool trick in transformation. Same thing on the other side. Let out, and then just kind of rest this there like that. Then go ahead and combine the two halves right in the center there. And then there's a lot of folding that goes on here. So first we got to fold this whole front section up. And there are some tabs and slots the wheels have to go into. So this all collapses like that, and there's big old tabs on the wheels that just slide in there. Same thing on this side, slide in there. On some other tabs around. These usually come undone while you're transforming him. They just come back at the end and fix it all up. And then there's tabs and slots here. Just line those up, and then these panels, you do need to kind of keep outside, and they just tab over top there. And same thing here, oops, tab over top. I'll say the plastic on this guy feels a little cheap. Doesn't feel like I'm gonna break anything, but just has that like kind of snappy sound. It doesn't feel super strong, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna break either, nor does it feel like it's gonna get brittle. It just isn't like that higher quality plastic that we get from like Studio Series in some cases, I guess. But there we go. Here is Soundwave in his truck form, which once you do get it assembled, transformed, it is pretty solid. Now mine has some weird like gluish blemishes going on there, which is kind of weird, but otherwise it looks pretty good. Kind of cool looking truck, I think. You can raise up this antenna dish there. You can take his accessories and plug on a cannon here for his armored truck. And then you could take this one and stick it in back if you want to, or swap them around, whatever. But it looks pretty good. Very, very armored for the, I believe it's at a apocalyptic setting that we get in the game with Quintesson's taking over or something. So looks pretty good. Nice wheels. He does roll very smoothly. Definitely a fun figure. You know, the transformation is not hard. But for Soundwave, I think if this was some other character and not Soundwave, I would like it a lot more. But because it's Soundwave, I think it's a little underwhelming for that character particularly. But it looks pretty good. Paint apps aren't as good in this mode as they are in the alt mode, or in robot mode, but looks pretty good. So there's that, and then mainly because this video is focusing on primes, my alt mode comparison is just with SS32 there, just so you can get, or not SS32, sorry. This is the, when we move the Optimus Prime, forget his number. Fantastic Prime though. So it scales pretty nice, you know, for a deluxe, he scales in pretty nicely with most of your Voyager class figures, no problem. So there you go, but cool alt mode, definitely. So that is Soundwave. Let's get him out of the way right now. And let's take a look at the main event here, which I think is Prime. And he looks pretty fantastic. Really nice silver paint apps all over this guy. I like the headlights up here, and these have, or the marker lights, and they've even been picked out in silver. It's a very nice looking truck. Nice silver on the thighs. Robot, we haven't gotten to the truck yet, but he has a nice looking truck. Silver on the arms, come around the back too. Silver on the parts of the backs of the arms. Cool looking jetpack thruster thing going on back here. Looks really good. Lots of nice sculpted in detail back there too. And this guy, yeah, like no hollow spaces. He is a solid figure. He feels solid too. He's nice and heavy. My only complaint really of this guy is this backpack piece doesn't tab in like super securely. It doesn't flop around, but there's like two little tabs that are a little snug. But it holds. It's really minor, and he holds together really well. It's just when you sometimes grab him too hard back there, it comes untabbed. Oh, and that's the one other problem is this blaster. It looks fantastic, except for this handle. I don't know why it's so short. So it doesn't like stay in his hand super secure. I mean, it holds in there. Like you can wobble around, it doesn't fall off. But like if you just tap it, it does come off. So that is a little strange, but if you have a lot of primes, you have plenty of ion blasters you could give him if you didn't want him to use this one. But I think it does look pretty cool. Once it's in his hand, you don't notice that the handle's short. And even through like, I would say some play, you can still keep that blaster in. So he looks outstanding, in my opinion. And his profile is pretty good. And he, of course, has a little bit of a backpack, but Prime's supposed to have a little bit of backpack. And I think if it's a jetpack backpack, it's pretty cool. Sorry, just checking those tabs there. So you can see the thrusters back there. It looks pretty cool. And there's even like some spinal detail on that inner piece, which is pretty neat indeed. So I'll just show you the blaster real quick as well. Black plastic, not very unique. It's Prime's blaster. I believe it is blast effect compatible. Actually, no, this might not be. It might be. I honestly don't know. My apologies for not checking that, but it may or may not be blast effect compatible. And then his axe is epic. Nice transparent yellow plastic and then painted over in black. I think this looks really cool. Nice spikes. And you can, of course, store both weapons in his truck mode, so you can use either this slot, or either this peg or this peg on his back. Store the blaster either side, doesn't matter. And you can store the axe there. So if you want weapon storage, there you go, in robot mode. So articulation-wise, he is, oh, and one other feature, of course, one of my favorite features of this Prime, of any Prime, is the matrix. This is the same matrix that we get with all of our other Primes and Rodimus Primes and whatnot in the past. But I like it a lot, so I'm glad they kept it. Nice paint applications, as always. And yeah, fits in there beautifully. I think it's fun to keep the matrices consistent, in my opinion, because then you have like the whole legacy evolution thing, where all the figures are just from different timelines, but are all very similar, all scaled the same. You can interchange accessories, whatnot. So it looks really cool. Love that he has a matrix. So articulation-wise, straighten out this. He's got a ball joint at the head, so you can look up there, and you can look down a little bit. And if you disengage this joint, you can get him looking up a lot more, but it looks a little silly. He can look side to side a little bit, and you can do the full 360. Then shoulders, you can hinge up to there. You get full 360 rotation. You kind of have a little bit of a backwards butterfly if you want to use that. You get upper bicep rotation. You get 90 out of the elbows, and you do get wrist rotation. It's very stiff on mine, but it is there. Then at the waist, you do get, you start hitting some of the backpack pieces if you go to there, but it's still plenty, I would say, in my opinion. No ab crunch like SS102, but he is still pretty capable. Can high kick to up to there. If you go out to the side, you might be able to get a little bit more. And then he can kick back to there. And he can do the splits, no problem. Thigh rotation, past 90 out of the knee, which is fantastic. And very good ankle tilt. Because of transformation, it can go all the way to there. So definitely Prime level of articulation. Also on the elbows, if you wanted to use it, you can go backwards a little bit, but that's not really part of the robot mode robot mode articulation. Excuse me. So yeah, very nice figure. I have really enjoyed messing around with this Prime. So for some comparisons, well, really just one. We'll do Earthrise Optimus Prime, just so you can see how they stack up. See the much darker palette overall on this guy. He is taller by a good bit. He's a beefy Prime, that's for sure. Beefy Prime. He reminds me a little bit of the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Optimus, but not quite that beefy, but along those lines. Still very balanced truck or robot. So there you go. It looks pretty cool. Transformation wise, to begin with, just come to the backpack, untab that, and then these, what will become the side fenders, you want to pull them away. They're like a flexible-ish plastic, which is good for transformation. It helps, means it's less scary. And just unfold all this, which is the roof of the truck, and just kind of leave it out of the way for now, and open up these pieces. And then next, I just like to T-pose them. Helps get things out of the way. You want to separate his abdomen from the center there. And then you can just open all this up and hinge it all out. And then similar to Earthrise, there's all this stuff is stored in there. Not quite as many panels as that, but just pull this all out like that. And then you want to pull, I like to take his legs down now too, just to give myself some more room to work on this section. So let's keep his legs down, and now we can bring all this up like that. And he can detach his head here, and that will just rock back in here, like that. Should straighten out. There we go. So his head just sits down in there, like so. It's a nice big truck cab, so a lot of space to store everything. And then these front pieces just unfold out, and we can rotate around the wheels. Just make sure you get those. I'll say these side pieces are like just a little bit in the way during transformation, but just tab those together. Now you have the front of the truck. And now we can work on the arms. So similar to SS102, you've got all the panels in the arms. So they just open up on the top there, and that comes down. Rotate this around and rotate that up. Same thing on the other side. Rotate. Just open up the top panel here, and then the other panel, and rotate that in. And at this point, you do want to kind of lower that truck cab a little bit. And then I like to bring these back and also bring the roof in now, just because it's much harder to do that later. And now you want to make sure everything's kind of straightened out here for the cab. Make sure these fender pieces are also kind of straightened out, so that way we can start bringing the arms in, which is probably the trickiest part of the transformation, in my opinion, at least. Just line everything up, get it all inside. And then there is a tab here, which needs to go underneath that arm there. And you should just be able to squeeze it all together like that. And now we can tackle the other side as well. It'll kind of straighten itself out as we go here. There we go, something like that. Try the other side. Bring that shoulder in. Then rotate this around. Just got to clear those fender pieces. And tab that all in. You can see then it solidifies itself pretty nicely. You can also go ahead and fold in the abdomen there. And then bring down the whole front of the cab here. Just got to get it to clear the wrists like that. And then there's two tabs that go into, on the bumper, that go into the front of the cab here. So just get those locked in, and now the cab is quite a unit. So that is all done. Now, leg transformation is a little different, I would say, than some of our other primes, because it actually does the rotation trick. So just open up all of this, make sure that ankle is hinged as far all the way as you can, and then we use this bottom joint, rotate all the way around, close the leg up like that, or the foot, just rests in there, and then this bottom panel comes back in, close that up. Same thing on the other side. So open up that panel, open up the foot here, rotate this around, close up the foot there, and close up this panel. Combine the two halves and bring them up. And then it's just a matter of lining all this up. And there's tab slot connection here on the side. I think on that side. Squeeze it all up. And there you have Reactivate Optimus Prime in his very, very beefy looking truck mode. This thing looks awesome. I can see like some IDW inspiration in here, along with G1. That looks really cool. You got really all the dirt and grime all over the front grille there. Nice silver paint apps, and again, this is his chest and robot mode, so no parts forming there. Autobot logo on the side, because there's his shoulders. You still get these jet engines, and I like how they stick backwards in his truck mode. Maybe give him like a turbo boost as he's driving around. Very cool looking side panels here, which are, I mean, they're a little annoying during transformation, but they look really cool. Very nice wheel rims, nice silver paint. And there's the back. It would have been nice if they could have like disguised some details or something on these little pieces, but still looks good. And there's the bottom. He's a pretty dense guy. There is actually a lot of space in here. You could like store, I don't know, maybe you could stick like the axe in there. You almost could store the whole axe in there. Let's see. You open this up. Just shove the axe in there. Can't quite store the whole axe in there, but you could store something in there, I'm sure. But very nice. It rolls beautifully. You just get everything straightened. The wheels will roll on the ground very nicely. So definitely a very, very nice figure here. Keep it down a little bit. Pardon the squeak. So for comparison, again, here he is with Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, which I still think this is one of the best Optimus Primes Hasbro has released. This thing's fantastic, but there you go. For comparison, he is a big Prime. You can see, I mean, lengthwise, he's about the same as Bumblebee movie Prime, but he's a little taller. His cab's a little bigger. From the top view, maybe you can see a little better. You can see he's bigger. He's a beefy Prime. He is very cool. I do like him quite a lot. So there you go. Bringing in Soundwave here for one final comparison. There you go. There's the two, and if you want to, you can store Prime's weapons on him. He does have these 5mm ports on the side, so you can just store the axe there, and take the gun, use that side port as the short little handle. Does not work, but so there you go. And you can store his weapons on him as well. Now, if you really want a good Prime, that looks cool, kind of Cybertronian, maybe looking like not quite Earth mode, but some apocalyptic or Cybertronian Prime, I would highly recommend this guy. I think he is awesome looking. He's really cool, really great Prime figure. But of course, you're going to pay extra money to get the kind of mediocre Soundwave if you don't really want him. You know, you got to weigh your choices whether or not you want this Prime that much. The Soundwave, I definitely don't regret picking this setup, even though I'm not a big fan of this figure. I do love this Prime. I think it was well worth the pickup, even for that extra money, and you get an extra figure, so I'll probably actually use him with my live action figures, keep them in that collection. So definitely enjoy these figures. Hopefully this helps you make a decision if you're on the fence about whether or not you want to get these figures. I'd recommend this Prime if you really want your Prime collector and you want some more Primes. There you go. I really appreciate if you made it through this whole review. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.